What is going on, everyone? Today I'm going to talk to you about the GREAT PSA backlog of 2025. If you've been living under a rock the last couple of weeks or even the last 2 months of this year, you would have noticed that PSA's TCG bulk grading service is taking much longer than previous. I just had a submission come back a couple of weeks ago. You might have seen the video on my YouTube. I'll link it down below. But I would have mentioned that took almost 100 days to get back to me. So I've had 2 submissions come back in 2025, and both of those have taken over 90 days, I believe. I'm just going to bring it up and have a quick look. One of those took 84 days and the other one took 98 days. Now, when I talk about the amount of days, I'm not actually talking about PSA turnaround days when they talk about turnaround time. I'm talking about the turnaround time from door to door, from when I posted it at the post office to when I got the PSA submission back in hand. So this is total amount of days, including weekends and all that. So yeah, I basically had 2 submissions come back in 2025 that were close to 100 days turnaround, which is pretty crazy compared to 2024. I'm going to show you some data on my 2024 results, and mine's going to be actually pretty blown at how much stuff the PSA must be receiving right now. So back on January 13th, PSA announced via their Facebook page, and I'm going to read it all out to you and you'll be able to see it in the video comments on the side. PSA customer update. Both to close 2024 and to begin 2025, we have experienced a high volume of incoming submissions, which has resulted in a delay in our receiving process, the unboxing and system entry of delivered packages. Rest assured, we are diligently working to process Rest assured, guys, they've got you. Working to process all orders as efficiently as possible and meet each order's estimated turnaround time. Bulk and value service level orders are those primarily being impacted right now. So for me, like I mentioned at the start, bulk is what I usually send out. Bulk is what's being impacted right now. So bulk service level is the cheapest level. I think they put it back up to $17 USD per card. That's the level that for me that's what I send out. So that's what's most impacted. We're currently increasing staffing in our receiving department to help alleviate the issue while also bringing new technology online in the first quarter of 2025 that will help keep receiving times consistent going forward. So it's good to know that they've got a bit of a plan, increasing staffing to cope with it. To find out more about your order, if it's physically arrived at PSA, either use the tracking tool available from your carrier, or visit the orders page when logged into your account, blah, 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 blah. There's like hundreds of comments there, people like blowing up about it. But basically what they're saying is, hey, we're aware of it, which is so good. I love that they're coming out and saying, look, we've got an issue, we're going to deal with it. And these are some of the actions we're taking to resolve it. So what I'm going to show you now, which is pretty crazy, is so this is last year in blue, and then the first couple of submissions from that I've received back in 2025. So during 2024, I sent out 11 submissions, and these all came back during 2024. Now the average return time, and you'll see they kind of go from 40 to 60 days. That's kind of the average in there, but the actual average amount of days for those 11 submissions is 48 days turnaround time from shipping it overseas, getting it back to Australia. That's pretty good, 48 days. Now, you'll see the last 3 on there, the orange ones. Now, for some reason, one of those subs, which I sent on the 29th of November, actually came back in 54 days. That one was really quick. So that was normal turnaround time. I'm not sure what happened with the other 2, but the other 2 took 84 and 98 days to get back to me. Now, obviously, like PSA, they've mentioned that they've had this increased demand. I think it's all Pokemon. I literally think the whole Pokemon craze, the boom of Pokemon that we had at the end of 2024 into 2025 has literally driven all this demand to PSA. So I've got a submission out now, which I sent during I sent it out during mid-Feb, and it's in receiving still. And I've seen videos and other things online of people saying that their submissions sit in like receiving an order prep for like a month before anything happens. Now, from memory, these submissions, they sat for ages. Like, I think one of them, it sat in arrival or order prep. It sat maybe in order prep for a month before it even moved. So what other people are seeing is what I'm seeing at the bulk service level. So to alleviate this for yourself, I think send it at a higher tier. If you've got a couple of cards that you want to send and get them back in a reasonable amount of time, I would probably only be sending the stuff that's higher value, the stuff that's going to be over $500 AED, because once you start going up in the value tiers, it does get quite expensive to send a PSA, especially once you start converting the US prices over to Australian. So one of the things I think you can do is definitely send something at a higher tier. Obviously understand that you're going to be paying higher costs for that, so that's something to consider. But otherwise, you kind of got to just keep sending cards at bulk and wait till it kind of, it ends. I think there's not much else you can do to get around this besides sending at a higher tier. So that's just some data I wanted to share with you, just to actually show that this has happened. I think they're going to be able to resolve it in a reasonable amount of time. I would expect that I think the amount of cards that are getting sent in we might see that drop off throughout the year. But otherwise, I think we just need to keep sending cards and waiting and being patient. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope the data is helpful to anyone who's planning to send cards to PSA. And I'll catch you all next week. Bye.